Fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Today I'm with a guest you've seen on here a time or five, might be coming up on one of the most frequent guests that I've had on here, but he's back. That means he's getting ready. Another BKFC contest coming up March 28th, Saturday, taking on Elijah Harris, coming off of a big win earlier in January. He is Mr. Rico Disciullo. Rico, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, brother? How you been?
I've been good, man. Nice to see you
Nice.
back on here. Coming off of a great win over Ashton last time out. Big second round KO. What was it like to go back to Mohegan Sun and get another finish?
Yeah, it's fantastic over there. It's like my second home. I made my pro debut over there for Bellator like fucking 15 years ago. I don't even know how long ago. 2013, I think it was. And I've always been super, super comfortable there. You know what I mean? I'm from Peabody, Mass, which is like 20 minutes north of Boston. So the ride to Mohegan's like 2 hours away. So, as like when you're like 18, 21, you go up there, gamble, have some fun with your friends and shit. So I've always been going up there. It's just like now fighting there so consistently. It's home away from home. You know what I mean? And we get all New England over there. So it's fantastic. And it's a sick venue. New England shows up for me in the Northeast. And we get rowdy and we have a good time.
Every time you've been winning lately, the crowd's been very rowdy. The place is absolutely huge. And I've been there. You can hear how loud it is on the TV. People going absolutely nuts. Does that feeling ever get old?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, like my first bare knuckle fight, like I think a minute into the fight, I hear Rico from the whole crowd. And I was like, so that means all my MMA fans kind of transferred over to BKFC for those fights. You know what I mean? Like you got guys like Parker Porter, who huge MMA guy, and now he's killing it in BKFC. He's the man. You had guys on that card, I think like Brennan Ward might have been, I don't know if he was on that one, but Brennan Ward fights with them a couple of times. Got all these, Pat Casey, you got what's his face? I can't think of his name. There's a bunch of New England guys that have been doing MMA for a long time that I've made that transfer to bare knuckle and they're killing it. You know what I mean? So it's I feel like all the fans for BKFC in New England have already known us through MMA. So like we have a bigger crowd, we have a bigger following because we've already been established a little bit in MMA.
Yeah, absolutely, man. One thing cool about this one, you're going to be the featured bout for this one. Is it pretty cool to see yourself moving up the cards now?
Yeah, I was going to be the co-main, and I think I got some things happened. I had a family member pass away, and I think they got a little shaky with if I was even going to do the fight and whatnot. But I told them, I was like, listen, it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm actually like to be a little bit lower on the card. A couple times before I asked to be lower, they're like, can't put you that low on the card. It's nice to get in, have the fight, and get out. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to love it when I was like first making my pro debuts. You go from like, fighting on amateur cards and being like, title fights. You're like the last of the night on an amateur card, like Rise of the Warrior or something, or like late in the card. And then you make your pro debut and you go back down to first. You're fighting at like 6 o'clock. You get to enjoy the night with your friends. You get to have some beers and watch the fights yourself. And it's like now you sit there from 4 o'clock till fucking 10 o'clock in the same locker room, like, just sitting there and waiting to do the damn thing. But I'm used to it now, man. I'm a vet. I've been doing it forever. So, and we have such a good crew. Like I said, like all the Rhode Island guys, all the guys from New England usually are in the same locker room. And it's just fucking ill vibes, man. We're just like, everybody's pros. We're all just in there, like kind of shooting the shit and just kind of, busting each other's balls before the fights. And then we just go out there and do the damn thing. And it's fun.
For this next contest, this is another one at 155?
This is at 150. So the plan is I just signed another contract with so I renewed my contract with BKFC. So I signed a multi-fight contract and we're looking down. I'm going down to 45. I want to fight for that title. And I feel like I have the formula to do so, to beat Kai Stewart, man. I mean, I don't know if you watched his fight this past weekend. I honestly thought he lost the fight. I thought he lost 3 rounds to 2. He does a lot of dancing. He does a lot of showboating. He does a lot of like clinch tapping to like get the punch count out and stuff. He doesn't really do a lot of damage. I don't think I've ever seen him finish anybody I don't think he has a finish in BKFC. Someone like me that understands wrestling and like tempo and how he tries to move. And I feel like I could be a major problem for him. And I want that 145 strap, man. I feel like I can beat some of the best in the world. And I know I can beat I know I can beat just about everybody in and around that division. You know what I mean? Like maybe even if I have to go to 35 for a world title, I would do it. I wouldn't only want to do it if it was for a world title, though. I don't want to cut that much weight anymore. But if it was, if I had like a couple full, like 3 months to prep for it and like know I was going in for a world title, I would definitely do it 100%. But I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun, like literally, I went up to 55 just because I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to cut weight, man. These guys can't lay on me. I don't give a shit. I'll fight a bigger guy. It doesn't mean, I know how to fight. I use my footwork to set everything up, and my power translates in every weight class I'm in. I've been knocking people out in every weight class. So it's like, I'm down for whatever. But I now that I got comfortable, I'm aiming to be at 45, stay there, and get a title. That's the goal.
In my opinion, that 145 division BKFC is probably one of the best in the platform. So many good names here in the top 5. Duran, Brown, Gaffney.
Yeah, he had a good performance. He had a good performance. He came out and blasted away real quick. But I feel like a lot of these guys, some of the guys that some of these guys aren't fighting intelligently. Like certain styles, you have to fight certain ways. Some of these people fight the same exact way for every person they fight, and I'm just way fucking ahead of that, dude. I ain't gonna let that shit happen. I'm not gonna go out there with the same game plan every single time. You know what I mean? But I am gonna go out there and try to finish every single fucking time. So that's, you know what I mean? I'm going out there, but I'm gonna do it in a different fashion if I have to. I can do it moving backwards. I can do it with pressure. I can do it from the outside. I can do it from hitting angles, getting on the inside, crashing. So there's many different ways to get the finish, and I know how to do that. And I know, what to use against what opponent. I feel like some of these guys are kind of 1-2 dimensional. Sometimes you need a third and fourth plan,
It's really interesting when you look at the BKFC roster. You see a lot of different backgrounds. You see some guys who have that boxing background transition to the bare knuckle game. Some guys who had a bit of an MMA background transition. Some guys who had a really big MMA background fighting on top shows transitioning. You feel having that big MMA background, fighting a lot of fights, fighting high-level guys, does that positively translate here into BKFC?
100%. You see different styles. And not only that, is I think a big part of it, the clinch game is really big too, like understanding how to use the clinch. In boxing, you can't grab the back of the head. In MMA, you can clinch and grab the back of the head. You can punch, you can do those things, you know what I mean? And understanding how to move your hips, get underhooks, use leverage. I feel like that's a huge advantage. Things like head control, like how you control in the clinch through MMA, is like, your cage work kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like it definitely transfers over. And just the amount of time I've had, I think I had 17 or 18 amateur MMA fights, and then I had, I think, about 16, 17 pro fights, something like that, 15, 16 pro fights. They don't count the Ultimate Fighter, which is crazy to me, but the Ultimate Fighter is like the toughest fights you're having too. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they don't count it as like official MMA fights, but it's a real fucking fight, trust me. And so around 30 fights, you know what I mean? That's a good amount of experience against, solid guys. And when I was an amateur, I wasn't just fighting like cherry picking guys. After my fourth fight, I was fighting for, the titles. You know what I mean? I was fighting like guys like Ken Moy, who's a solid guy from the Northeast. He's fought for Bellator. He's had some big wins. I think he beat Ryan, what's his name? Garcia, I believe. Solid guys. So, I mean, I have so many different experiences with different styles. I think it translates for BKFC big time. And just that pressure of fighting on the big stage too, like going through the Ultimate Fighter, making my pro debut for Bellator, even when I was an amateur, flying down to Florida and fighting for Rise of the Warrior, being that guy that everybody I had a good little crew there, but I was kind of the bad guy, you know what I mean? Going down there, and it's a good feeling to switch it up and know you're good. You can do that everywhere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. One thing cool to see that is you're being very active again for the first time in a while. This is going to be the third fight in around 3 months-ish. Is that cool to establish a rhythm here and be very active?
Yeah, I mean, this will be my fourth BKFC fight. Should have been fifth. One got scrapped. That was kind of bogus, but yeah, man, the plan is to fucking pedal to the metal, dude, and come take what's mine, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? As long as I'm healthy, I'm good to go. I'm a dangerous man right now, and I'm putting in the work. I just biggest thing is just after the camp, like after fights, the damage to your hands. You got to be really careful, and that's a big thing I've learned is like picking my shots in fights a little bit better than the first one. The first fight was, I think I learned the most because I didn't really know what to expect. Completely bare knuckle, and your adrenaline's kind of high, and you can't punch like you got boxing gloves on. I'll tell you that. You absolutely cannot. There's a couple times where my opponent knew he was going to get hit, and he was kind of smart, so he ducked his head down just enough to hit on the crown of his head. And I had it sounded like crack, and I'm like, oh my God, I broke my hand, but I didn't break my hand. And I was just like, okay, I can keep going, but it's I felt it for like, my hands were swollen for like 2 months after that fight. So I couldn't really even hit the bag for like 2 full months. So you got to be very careful with your hands, especially with like my training camp. We do a lot of things for like, my strengthening my hands, keeping that blood flow in my hands, and just toughening them up, but not beating them up. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get them stronger, but I'm also not trying, like, I see guys like constantly smashing stuff. That's good once in a while, I think, maybe just for your knuckles, like for the calcium deposit. But I'm not crazy about fracture, like beating up your hands like that. Like I don't know. I don't think it really does what you think it's doing. You know what I mean? I think it's more just, you're better off strengthening the muscles in your hand. You know what I mean? And that will help keep everything intact. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got to punch everything and just train normally. Maybe train on like harder surfaces and use less padding and stuff. But there's different ways to do it. I do that stuff too, like where you actually hardening the bone. But I don't do it. I'm not all the time with that. I think you have to like give and take with that stuff. But it is part of the game. You know what I mean?
Now, after having 3 bouts here at BKFC doing this bare knuckle boxing stuff, do you have a different perception? Do you have a different outlook on what this is now as opposed to around this time last year?
Oh, totally. Before I did it, they had to like talk me into it pretty much. Sean Wheelock, who I do, shout out to Sean Wheelock. He's the man, by the way. I do commentary with him. He's the best in the world, like the best. All right. Not only is he the absolute best commentary guy, like he run if he's in a show and somebody messes up, whatever, like he can do everything. All right. First of all, he knows the game inside out. Secondly, he's an outrageous fight fan, and he commentaried my fight for Bellator 13 years ago, and I knocked the dude out cold, and he left in a stretcher. It was a wild knockout. And he's the one that got me into BKFC because I hurt my knee after the Ultimate Fighter. I tore my knee. And then I do commentary with him for Combat FC up here in Boston, Joe Cavallero's show. And I'm doing the commentary. He's like, "Oh man, it sucks you tore your knee. I was looking forward to see you." He's like, "What are you doing now?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a lot of boxing, trying to get back. And I think I'm gonna have a couple boxing fights before I go back into MMA, just to make sure my knee's good and just help, build it." He's like, "Oh, man, you got to try bare knuckle. You will be perfect for it. I'm telling you, Rico, the way you strike, I've commentaried your fights. You got to do it." I'm like, 2, 3 more shows. He's like, "You got to do it." He's showing me videos. He's like, this, that, whatever. I'm like, fuck it. Tell my coach, Eddie, let's do a bare knuckle fight. Fuck it. I don't even care. I know this is kind of crazy, but I've done it before. So like, I'm not really too worried about it, but it is kind of gnarly. The thing is, I was worried about was like, all right, are you gonna get super cut up? Like every punch gonna rip you up, you know what I mean? Because it's not like a street fight where you're fighting for like 2 minutes and it's over. This is rounds with a pro fighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really focus on head movement. And that's how my game has always been. Like knock on wood, I've never got a concussion. I've only been cut once in a fight. I've never got a concussion in a fight in 30 fights. You know what I mean? So my whole style is made for this because it's made on explosive power, footwork, and movement. You know what I mean? It's head movement, footwork, and fucking damage. You know what I mean? So I mean that's pretty much the name of the game. If you want some longevity in this sport and to do well, you can't really, those guys that just come in like berserk and take shots and give shots. Yeah, you can do it, but it's gonna shorten your career. And it's gonna be exciting as fuck, but it's not gonna last. And if it does, you're gonna have some effects from it. You know what I mean? So not my style. My style is to hit and not get hit. And when I hit, cause ultimate damage. You know what I mean?
What's been some reactions from some of the kids in the gym, when they go out to see you do the bare knuckles? It's pretty cool for them to interact with you after that.
Well, yeah, because now I pretty much train full time at Alvarez Family Boxing, like a boxing gym. You know what I mean? With all like, it's a lot of like community kids. You know what I mean? Like kids throughout the community. They've just learned how to box. Good foundation. They fucking love it. I'm just selling a bunch of tickets through them, and they're just getting to an age where like some of them are starting to drive now, and they're like, "Oh, we're driving." Like last couple of shows, they had to have their parents take them and shit, and they love it. Their family comes, their parents come. It's crazy. We got some of like the older ladies and like the women's kick, like the older women's kick boxing classes come. It's a fantastic gym. Like we got a really good community over there at Alvarez Family Boxing in Salem. It's like 5 minutes from my house, and it's just a really good squad of people. And it's we're all real tight. I just literally just came from there.
It's kind of crazy to see. I mean, I've talked about before, but how long you've been doing this, what you've been able to accomplish. I mean, so many people try to get into the fight game. I mean, you're like in that upper 99% who didn't really even have a big run in the UFC, but I mean, you found The Ultimate Fighter. You have a big moment with Conor McGregor with the Lambo, huge knockout, BKFC, Bellator, a bunch of great regional things. Do you ever kind of look back at the journey? Do you ever reflect on any of it?
Yeah, 100%, man. Especially like during COVID when I blew up my knee. I almost had to quit. I gained a bunch of weight because I was fucking nobody could do shit. First of all, second of all, I just had a pretty bit nasty knee surgery, and then all this, and then I'm like, fuck, dude, am I fucking done? What's going on? And I'm having a kid, and you got to make some money, and you can't really even around here. You couldn't train down in Florida. I was watching my boy Charles Rosa and Lucas and all them fucking kill it. I was drooling up here, like so mad, throwing shit at fucking like literally. He'd like FaceTime me, he'd be in the gym, I'd fucking just like throw my phone. I'd be so mad, but it motivated me. It was good because it was like it made me realize like how much this isn't you only get like this far when it's like a real true love and passion. Like I'll be in the gym the rest of my life, whether it's teaching my kids, it's a lifestyle for me. It's made me a much better person. I don't know really where I would be without martial arts, to be honest. I would not be as well off with like my life. I guarantee it would be a little more hectic and crazy than it already fucking is, which is pretty wild. But no, man, it saved my life for real, and showed me discipline, responsibility, all the things you need to be successful and stuff. Obviously, you've heard this before, I'm sure, a million times. It translates to everything you want to do. Something that you have to be that disciplined to, that you're gonna get knocked down that many times, and you got to just keep going and keep going no matter what people tell you. If you believe in it, if you want it that bad, if you just keep going, you know once you quit, man, there's no more chances. So I mean, that's it, dude. You're done. But you keep going, you got a chance, and that's this is kind of why it's made me very. I have a lot of very grateful for this opportunity because number one, I feel like this is truly what I was like made for. Like if this was a couple of years back, I would be a world champion already. I know it in my bones, 100%. But that's the funny thing about life, man. It's not exactly planned out exactly how you want. I never thought I'd be actually doing this. You know what I mean? I thought I'd be right now in Bellator, the UFC, or PFL. You know what I mean? Fighting for a major organization in MMA. And now that this has come along, man, that me tearing my knee was almost like a blessing in disguise. And I had no fucking idea that would lead me to this road. And that's how the world works sometimes. And you just can't quit. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity because I truly believe this is where like I can showcase some outrageous skills and highlights. And there's going to be a lot of Rico Disciullo knockout highlights to come, I'm sure.
I think one thing you touched upon is really interesting. I feel like maybe 10, 15 years ago, if you were trying to be a fighter and you weren't telling people that your main goal was to be in the UFC, people probably looked at you like you're crazy. Why are you even doing this? Sport has evolved so much. We have stuff like BKFC.
Yeah.
Now. We have Karate Combat. We have PFL. Is this just a showing of how we've evolved?
Yeah, 100%. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful thing, and it hopefully more opportunities, more things come. Sometimes there's too many things. Like you got like car jujitsu and stuff, and fucking you've seen that crazy shit. You got like kind of now you got goofy stuff. The slap. I'm not crazy about the freaking slap fighting. I think those people are just straight up dumb as rocks, and they just want brain damage. But hey, it is what it is. It's their 5 minutes of fame, and they get a fucking couple $1,000s for getting a concussion on TV. But not for me, man. If anybody slaps me in the face like that, dude, if there's, I wouldn't be able to contain myself, even if I was ready for it. I don't know what I would do. I'd throw a fucking bottle at their head, dude. It's just like, how do you just sit there as a man, just allow yourself to get slapped in the face? I couldn't do it. But anyway, yeah, man, it's good to see like the growth of this sport because like now like I said, I go to my boy Kyle Bokniak's gym, for example. I teach over there a little bit, and you got these kids growing up. Kyle's a world champion black belt jiu-jitsu guy, and he's also fought in the UFC. He's got incredible boxing skills. He's got incredible, like you got a different kind. You got all these coaches in one gym now. You got a boxing gym, a coach, a kickboxing coach, a Muay Thai. You know what I mean? All these and under one roof, and it makes it. These kids are just developing at such a rate. It's incredible, and they also have different avenues to go. Like you said, karate combat. That's a really cool formula. I really like that structure. That's something I would love to do. But honestly, I love BKFC too much to like even try to negotiate like doing both of them. I'm committed to this 110% right now. Who knows? Maybe after. I give it a couple, one or two, because I like, Muay Thai is really like my main background where I come from, like Tong in Boston. I've trained there for like 15 years before I even, that's like my base. You know what I mean? So I love the kickboxing aspect, and I love the fact that you can take them down and ground and pound for a couple of seconds. Like that's my world. I fucking absolutely love this, everything about it. Um, I'm curious to see how they do. They're still pretty new. Um, yeah, I think that's a really cool. I think BKFC is where it's at, though. I think that is the number one. Like, and I'm not. I'm saying it because I have fought for other organizations. I've been around other organizations, and like this reminds me of the UFC in the golden age of when it was like rocketing with like Chuck Liddell and those guys, like all the major GSP, and like the really when it starts to take off after they had that big Ultimate Fighter with Griffin, and like a couple years after that, and the prime golden age of the UFC when it was just doing this. And right now, BKFC has that feel times 1,000. Everybody behind the scenes is awesome. Like everybody that works for the promotion is cool as shit. They handle their business. They're good people. The productions run great. David Feldman's the man, really good dude. Like everything about it. And the format, everything. I can't really say anything really bad. And I'm just looking forward that I got into it when I did, man. Because right now it's just, it's about to explode.
Could you see a time in the future where maybe fighters make their debut in BKFC? Maybe 18, 19, 20, they're debuting in BKFC. Could you see that in the future?
They still kind of could now, but it's gonna take a bit to like. I think yeah, you can do that. They're actually starting to do tryouts. They're trying to do now is I know they get tryouts, and they go to Florida and other places, and they do like tryouts for BKFC because they want more talent. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there that can definitely are young enough and hungry enough and have like a basic foundation where they could, do something with it. But get your ass in a boxing gym, man. Get your ass in a boxing gym and really, 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 really work fundamental boxing, and work, clinch stuff. Maybe go to an MMA gym and work against some like, some wrestlers against the cage, and learn how to like clinch and learn about underhooks and stuff. I feel like that's the best way to go about it. Because 90% of people that are good in this sport have been in MMA or boxing or think for a long time. They have a lot of hours in the game. Very, very rare do you see someone just hop in unless they're an ultimate freak. You know what I mean? To like come in and be really good. They can be good for a little bit, but you're gonna get exposed. You know what I mean? You're gonna get exposed eventually once you get to a upper tier. It's just guys have just put in too many hours. You know what I mean? It's like anything else. It's like you can look good on the on the court and in front of your friends out here. Go play against like a women's fucking professional basketball, like any player, they'll smoke you and you look like a clown. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do every single day since they were 6. You know what I mean? So it's all about putting in the time.
So you're getting ready, making your return, taking on Elijah Harris here. He's 2-1 in the BKFC platform. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
He's tough. He's strong. I feel like he's kind of like a bully, man. He comes out super aggressive. He likes to put the pressure on people. Um, should make for a fucking hell of a fight, to be honest, dude. I think it's gonna be super exciting. I think it's gonna be fucking fireworks for sure. Don't blink. You know what I mean? This one fucking, I could go 5 rounds. It could go 1 minute. Could go 30 seconds. Like this is, you know what I mean? So I'm obviously prepared for it to go 5 rounds. I'm expecting. Like I said, fireworks from the start. So we're prepared. We know what we're doing, and yeah, putting a good training camp. Got Lucas Rose is actually down here training with me for the past couple. He's been down here for about a month or so, working on his boxing. So he's down here. Him and a couple of the boys from Alvarez Family Boxing. We've been putting on a hell of a camp. Me and Kyle Bokniak's been doing a lot. I've been working a lot with Kyle too, like sparring wise. So Kyle, Lucas, a couple of the boys from there. So we have a really good squad putting it in, and obviously me and Eddie Alvarez always crushing it ourselves. But yeah, man, we're prepared. You know what I mean? We're pumping out these fights. So we're staying sharp. You know what I mean? I'm not taking any time off. Right back to it. One goes into the next, but you got to keep every fight like stay focused on what's ahead of you. You can't get too ahead of yourself, because I respect all these guys. All these guys get in the squared circle, they say, for BKFC is a different breed, man. Like, you got to realize this is professional fighters with a lot of power with no gloves. You know what I mean? It's very different, like very dangerous, and you have to respect everybody in here. You know, everybody.
Elijah has 2 wins at the BKFC. Both were 7-second knockouts. Does that danger, that power, does that excite you?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make it's gonna be exciting. There's gonna be fireworks for sure. It's like the way I fight, the way he fights, it can't be a boring fight. It's impossible. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very entertaining for the fans. The fans automatically win in this fight for sure. So and that's what we want, man. It's entertainment. We want to have even like my last fight, I got a little nervous, with that knockout. I don't want to hurt the guy, but listen, he's trying to hurt me. I'm trying to hurt him. Luckily, nothing major. I might have like a minor fracture, but nothing like seriously like major damaging with his eye or anything. But afterwards, it'd be cool. We'll go grab a fucking beer after, chill. You know what I mean? We're professionals at this point. Like I don't go in there with hate in my heart much anymore. I mean, I go in there with, once I'm in there, it's like kill or be killed. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's no like, you got to be cool, calm, and collect. You got to be cold. You got to be fucking ice cold. You know what I mean? I don't even look at these people as people once I'm in there. It's just fucking, it's it's a monster in front of me. I gotta kill. I gotta slay to get to where I gotta go. That's literally. I don't. They're not even fucking human to me anymore. And I feel like if you don't have that mindset, you're doing yourself a disservice because fucking bare knuckle fight, man. This dude's gonna try to rip my head off. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to get to that place in my mind and flip the switch and turn into, who I got to beat whoever's in front of me. And I'm gonna do that the 28th this Saturday.
With a big win on the 28th, maybe after when you get that mic, maybe a big call out for someone in that top 5, the 145 division.
Carlo Perusa, no. I'll give you a shout out if I can. No, yeah, I want Kai. Everybody knows I want that title, man. I want Kai Stewart. I feel like I got the formula to beat him. And I said it. I don't know if it was my last fight. I think it was the fight before when I fought Kirk. What's his name? How do you say his name? Kirkendall.
Kirkendall. Yeah.
Kirkendall. Yeah. So they asked me. They're like, "Oh, we heard you got your eye on Kai Stewart or whatever," and I was like, "Listen, anybody at 145 can get it if they get the title. That's where I'm going. I'm going down to 145. I don't give a fuck who has it. I want to get the title. You know what I mean? So Kai's got it. He's the guy. He's been the boogeyman up there for all these people. Actually, I call him the jester, dude. He reminds me of a fucking clown with his goofy ass mustache. He's like in his cringy shit, like dancing around and acting like, I don't know. He's just cringy as hell. But I feel like I have the formula to beat him, man. He's a wrestler. All he does is fucking dance around footwork, point strike, and fucking. And he's like, he can't do that shit with me, dude. I'm gonna put my fucking fist in your face, and I'm gonna make you fight. You know what I mean? And for 5 rounds, dude, like, there's no chance. There's no chance that I don't fucking make this kid's legs wobble and fucking drop him. I really think I finish him. He does. I gotta give it to him, man. He is crafty with like his footwork and his. What he does is he has a offbeat rhythm. Like, he doesn't like guys get like a normal like rhythm and a pace. He bounces between rhythms. You know what I mean? Like he pretty much just. Whenever anybody's trying to exchange whatever, he fakes and then crashes in, throws some pity pat punches, gets some points, gets back out, hits again, and tries to get out. Like, he's very just touchy. He's like almost like a point striker. You know what I mean? So what am I worried about? Fucking getting outpointed? He's gonna worry about this on both hands, man. I can knock people out lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Southpaw, orthodox, it doesn't matter, man. I've knocked people out with both many and many and many of times. So he's the one that's gonna be fucking, worried in there.
A guy you've been really tied to your entire time in BKFC has been Mr. Parker Porter. Been on this journey with you.
Yeah,
he hasn't lost. You haven't lost with maybe
that's
2
my big New England brother
here.
from another mother.
Could this be maybe a New England-based Knucklemania in the future? Maybe him fighting that heavyweight, right? Kai?
We got him, Parker Porter, the other big Brazilian kid. I call him Big G because I can't pronounce his name at all. That kid's a stud, man. We had really good vibes in the locker room. He's like, Rico, I like you. Me and him have had a beer and a cigar after and shit. We had a blast, man. What's Gary Boletto? He's another one that's really, really sharp, man. New England. We got a fucking bunch of studs up here. The Rhode Island guys and like the Boston and the Rhode Island guys have always we've always cross trained and shit for years. So like they got some good boxers up there, because they used to, a lot of those dudes fought for like CES and good boxing promotions up there. And yeah, man, we got we're gonna have a lot of high level BKFC guys just up here in New England. I think that's why they just got a residency up here, because we have such a good squad. They have such a good group of fighters, and they're finding more that they can come here 4, 5, 6 times a year and probably sell out every time. You know what I mean? It's a no brainer. It's a casino. You can lure people in. It's a good atmosphere. It's easy to because you have Foxwoods and Mohegan right next to each other. Which, if you don't know, Foxwoods is like one of the biggest resorts in the country. So it's like, a lot of different people around. So it's probably easier to bring people to the fights. You know what I mean? Because you've heard them when you watch them on TV. That the crowd's awesome in there.
Absolutely. All right, Rico, last question for you, my friend. In the perfect world, what is the outcome Saturday night when you return to BKFC against Elijah Harris?
Perfect world. I go out there, bing, fight's over. That's literally it. 1, 2, 3, head bob, bop, bop, hand raise, get my paycheck, grab a beer, go grab a pizza slice. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, Rico, man, always enjoy talking with you, man. Great to see you get a fight here shortly after the last one, and wish you nothing but the best, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Till next time.
Absolutely. That's it for us today. I'm Carl Peruzza. He's Mr. Rico Disciullo. You can watch him Saturday taking on Elijah Harris, looking for BKFC win number 4. Thanks for watching, fight fans.